Hello, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Vineyard podcast, your weekly dose of fun, of laughter, of banter, and a whole lot of realness. Now, I hope you're good. We hope you're good. We hope you're keeping well. Uko salama dada ho?
Niko salama.
You're doing great.
Yes, sina la kuamba.
Yes, brother Timothy.
Fantastic.
You're doing good.
Kabisa.
Fantastic. As you can see, we are good here on set. We hope you're good. We hope you're well. Today's episode, we're just carrying forward the conversation that we started last week, and today we want to just bring it in and look at our lives a little bit, because we realize, again, in your 20s, we are believing that majority of our audience is in their 20s.
Yeah.
Or moms and dads of people in their 20s, because we actually had that as a demographic we reached, and I don't know how.
Yeah,
I was shocked. 40-year-olds listen to us.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Imagine
okay.
at the end, and they forwarded, one of my friends,
Yeah.
the mom forwarded it to him, and then he was like, Mom, I know this girl, she even came to our house. You don't remember her?
Guy, who is the girl you?
Yeah.
Guy.
The mom saw our content,
Yeah.
and then she's like,
Forwarded it.
wow, son, I think this is something you should
You
listen
should
to.
listen
And then he's
to.
like, Mom, she even came to visit us in our house.
Oh
That's
my
nice.
God, yeah,
That's
guy.
nice.
Maybe our audience is parents, and we're here picking up
That's
unafanya
bad.
life experience, then unaona audience yako, you're
Audience
like,
yetu imejazwa tu pale na,
this is
Elders.
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we started the conversation last Wednesday, and we just want to look at, in this journey of just being in your 20s. I think maybe we were a bit doom and gloom last week. We were just speaking about things like how we have experienced them, but in the journey of the difficulties and just, navigating your 20s, there are definitely wins that you experience, however small, however big. And this conversation was triggered when we were talking about a friend of ours. Shout out to you, you know yourself. He had what I would consider a big win.
Like, that's ginormous.
Massive
Sonia
win.
lectured him, and I'm like, where?
That's ginormous.
I'm like, baby, it's a kid. You're good.
Kitu ya kupinyilia. So anyway, so that we don't laugh alone on set. A friend of ours just very recently bought a beautiful car. Beautiful car. And okay, yeah, he's in his 20s. Yeah, we are in our 20s.
Yeah.
He's almost exiting.
But still, we sort of fall in the same bracket. And even the way he broke the news, didn't he even tell us? He didn't even tell us. He just showed up, and it's like, yeah, all right. Okay, I guess I did something. And then I think, especially for men have it even harder. They don't know how to celebrate wins at all. At least us, we are a bit better, but still, it really opened our eyes to see that it takes a lot before you even acknowledge to yourself that, wow, like, I've made progress in this. Like, I can pat myself on the back for doing this. Like, this was in the cards. Like, I didn't know, fine, I'm 20 whatever, or early 20s, whatever stage you are in. But there are things, if you sit and carefully look at your life, you can see you have achieved, and you need to take the time and just sit and acknowledge yourself for how far you have come. And that even gives you strength, to strive for more. So back to the people here who are on ground. Let me start with you, Kingori. Let me start with you. Tell us, in the last 6 months, not even 6, let's look at 2024. I want you to think of just 2 or 3 wins, small wins, big wins, just wins that you feel you have been able to achieve. Give yourself your flowers, sir. Give yourself your flowers. Let's go.
So when the year started,
Yeah.
I had a clear picture of how I wanted life to look like.
Yes.
But I started off my year with working. Hey.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what the work entailed,
Yes.
but the hours were crazy.
Yeah.
Because I used to work from 9 in the morning, but I used to close at 9 in the evening. So I was like,
So it
okay.
was 12-hour days.
And I'm walking along Mombasa Road. I live in Thika Road.
Crazy.
Yo.
So the commute.
Yo.
So for me, I don't know if it's a win, but I managed to actually commit to the job, regardless of how I felt about it, and stick it out
Yeah.
until my body told me, my G, hey,
You're gonna have to stop.
hey, because I was even supposed to work on weekends, but I made the hard stand. I was like, you want me to work from Monday to Saturday? 10 to 9.
No.
In as much as, but and also it was not paying as which made it a bit more easier. But looking back, I'm grateful I got to do that. I'm grateful to say I was able. I enjoyed the whole process of managing. I was doing logistics, so I was managing a few moving parts, and I enjoyed it. Talking to people, learning customer care here, kidogo. It was and I don't think I felt. In fact, I left so amicably because my body just told me today. Actually, nilishindwa kuamka. Ile tu genuinely.
It shut down.
Nilishindwa kuamka. Nikamwambia, hi guys. Penye nimefika, I don't think I can continue, but my boss understood.
Yeah.
So I was able to go now and then clear everything together.
Yes.
So the win is I was able to stick something through even when.
Yeah.
But it's not a win. Okay.
It is a win. Yes.
And then now after that, now I started focusing on transformation, my team building business. It started off well, then it became dry. So the other day I was seeking a partnership with some government institution, and I remember I went to the offices, I was given a good report, but my didn't see it as well. So when I went to my sister, was like, congratulations. I said, for what? I don't know the outcome.
You see, typical guy behavior.
I'm like, I don't know the outcome. No. Because
you've made a step.
Umejipeleka huko. No, ukaambiwa they like it. In fact, they told me to do a scenario analysis of how everything will look like, and I sent it. It's still work in progress. It's still something that I'm building up to. But me, I didn't see. I saw it as this is the necessary steps that are needed to make myself successful. So for me, it didn't look like a win. It looked like, but this is what is needed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sintaka njama.
Even setting up a business in itself is a win. How many of us have imaginary businesses in our head?
Hey, I'm a billionaire.
Hey.
In my head.
You always know. Mimi actually
Multi-billion
tu kuuza manguo na uweza umoka mbaya sana. Mimi, everybody has. Most people, let me not say everybody, has those businesses in their head that they keep saying they'll start and they never start. So for you, even just getting that off the ground, that is a win. Then before you go to seeking partnerships and all that stuff, that alone, just that faith to step out and be like, I'm going to do this. That's a win. So you can pat yourself on the back for that one.
I will also pat you too, because what sets apart people who are achievers and people who are only dreamers is the fact that they're willing to put themselves out there and put the foot forward and work at it. And that is a very difficult thing to do. Following through is very difficult.
Very.
Hata umenikumbusha, on Sunday I was doing activities with guys here. I had no idea of what I was going to do. I was blank.
Clearly format.
I was blank. But I ended up doing activities.
And
I was like, you know what, I think at times I don't see it. Because I was like, when I was starting this, I was blank. And I usually tell people, when you see me tell people going to groups, I'm thinking, what am I going to do with these people? Being groups of 3. I'm thinking, 3 people, what can you do?
What can 3 people do?
Then you're like, each of you is a different animal, communicate to each other. I'm thinking, how do I make it more interesting? So, and I think just seeing yourself for who you are and the creativity and what you have to offer, especially as a guy, at times it's very hard because the world wants you to be le grand. But at times it's the simplicity of you're able to mobilize people and make them enjoy and have fun. Just that.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Oh, beautiful. Unana, just in this year, if we were to even extend the period, you'd have so many other things. Yes, Madam Wakili.
Now that I have the opportunity to think back on the things that have happened, I actually look at it and think, well, life is actually not all that bad. Siko pabaya vile vile nilikuwa naona kama last week.
Ulikuwa unaona nothing is working. I'm tired. I'm struggling.
You know, I'm struggling. I'm not breathing. In fact, I'm not even alive. I think that things that I had set out to do in the year, and some of the things that are probably not even proactively anticipated to do, but I still got to do them, and I'm so happy about it. I remember when we began the year, I said I wanted to be more adventurous and got the opportunity to go camping. I loved it.
You're adventurous.
I went camping, I went abseiling, I went indoor climbing. My goodness, it was just fantastic. Having to cook in an open fire with the foil, and it was an experience and a half. I thought to myself, I could do this all my life. And I will definitely make sure I do that all my life. It was new experiences, immersing myself in new experiences and being able to do that. And I absolutely loved that.
Wow.
my faith was put to the test because I think one of the truest tests of whether, in fact, I think teachers used to tell us, if you can't explain something simply to somebody else, you yourself haven't understood it.
I like that.
So I think that was really tested, especially in the aspect of my faith, when I went for camping somewhere, and I had a child who openly professed that she was atheist in my cabin. And I think by far she was the best experience I ever had.
Yeah.
I'd say in my Christianity walk, because I had to be with her and I had to make sure I get the message across, not shove it down her throat, but make sure that the message of Jesus goes through to her. Hearing her recite the theme verse for the camp was for me like by far the greatest win. When she said it, and I was like, you don't even have to believe what you said, but the fact that you've interacted with the speech, the scripture, and you said that, I enjoyed that, thoroughly did. I've got some groups of girls that I mentor. So far I've got 2. I've got little girls who are about 8 years. You know me, for the longest while, I would struggle with kids.
Yeah.
But I am surprised as to how I'm
well
learning so much from these children, and they're learning so much from me. Wow. And even getting to hear the good report from their mums and all of that. And I've got another group that is of 12-year-old girls.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Being in a space where I am not just speaking the word of God, but having to proactively live it because there are other people that are watching me, I think is another very important win in this life. I think it's just Titus coming to life in my life. Not just because I've always thought it's me who's supposed to be learning from other people, but it never really clicked for the longest while. But you know what, Hope? You've lived some life to some extent.
Yeah.
Other younger women are learning from you too. Other younger women are learning from you too. So I think I absolutely love that. When I look at these things, I'm like, these are great wins. I did my orals and my project work at KSL.
Period. Being in KSL alone.
Right?
Is a win.
Right? Right? The fact that I've been able to do that because, one, this thing, you can give up halfway.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work when especially it comes down to the last final moments. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes you're constantly asking yourself, do I even know anything?
Yeah.
I remember coming to my orals. I called one of my friends and I told her, Annette, I feel like I don't know anything. I feel like I don't even understand anything that they've been talking about. She's like, no, relax. Just don't worry.
Yeah.
You know so much. Just allow yourself to breathe.
True.
Allow yourself to know that you've learned so much. And so I'm grateful because I've seen God's hand and faithfulness all through the year now that I look back. And I can say that there are landmarks of where he's been faithful throughout the year. Some of the things that I had said out loud, others I didn't even say out loud, but I've seen them come to fruition. And I think that, life is not entirely doom and gloom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just listening to us articulating the things that have gone well so far, just taking a minute to think back and like things actually coming to your mind and being like, oh, okay, that worked. Oh, okay, wow, I did that. Wow, makes me wonder, or it's making me think, why is it so hard and difficult and unnatural for us to, that's the word, because you have to trigger yourself to think and be like, okay, this is a small win, I probably should celebrate that. It's not the first thing that comes to my mind is what we discussed last week.
It's to complain.
And just like, I guess because the struggle, like it's probably feels like it occupies more of the days or more of like your time in your 20s, but why is it difficult for us to celebrate ourselves? Why is it difficult for us to see progress in our lives and like actually stop without? It's very easy for you to accept praise, like you, let's say you pass your oral exams and we come and we tell you, wow, congratulations, we are so proud of you. But before you sit and just sit with yourself and tell yourself, okay, like I was doing this, I was working on this proposal, I've been thinking about this team building business for 2 years, but it's 2024 that I have actually lifted it off the ground. I don't understand why.
Before we even respond to that, you haven't told us your small wins, son. See, it's a natural for...
Oh my God. I'm not.
You haven't said your small wins?
Are you sure?
I'm sure
Very
everybody
sure.
at home is curious to hear your small wins too, which are not so small actually.
I'm sure
when you
I've
say them out
said.
loud.
I'm sure I've said.
Hey, but tell us again.
Actually, I didn't even realize sijasema zangu. I think for me, my small wins concerning this has been, I can openly confess, like one of the most difficult years of my adult life. Since I turned 18 years. Hey, this has been, whoo, it's been a year. But what I would say, I think one of some of my wins that I'm celebrating this year, one is starting my internship. Yeah, starting my internship. It's been a journey. We have been on primetime news, we've been in the newspapers, we've been everywhere. Yeah, so starting that, and I think I'm 1 month in, and just being able to commit to the process, to work weekends, work long hours, and just give of myself in service to humanity in the healthcare space. I think it's something that I need to appreciate myself for. Of course, I tell myself that it's part of the process, like it's compulsory anyway. I don't have an option, but it's something that I feel good about, and I feel a sense of achievement, like being able to apply myself and my knowledge in that way. The other thing I'd say is working with one of my dream organizations called PVCC. Like, I thought about that organization, that company, since I was in third year. And this year I finally got to meet the CEO of that company, and we just connected so I would almost say unrealistically well. Like, yeah, and getting an opportunity to just work for her in a conference for professionals in Mombasa, and just get that exposure. As in,
you went for a whole workshop.
I was asking God, I was just asking God, Yani God, later Mimi, freshly minted pharmacist in the presence of such great minds, people who have walked the journey for many more years than I have. And I was just like, yeah, that one, thank you, Jesus. And it's definitely something I need to be like, yeah, you've done a good job there. Yeah, so there's that, and a few others, but I think those are the two that I'll highlight. Just, we are actually making progress. We are. It's just that it's easier to see the side that is more difficult. But back to my question now. Mbona mna struggle kuji-appreciate? Mbona una struggle kuona hata lazima tukusaidia tuone wins zako?
I think one, even before I answer, when a kid does something they've never done,
yeah,
they're like, all eyes on me, I'm walking. I'm walking,
and
guys.
everybody's
yeah, I can go to the toilet alone, and they're so proud of it.
Yeah.
So I think the older you grow, the more, I think for me it was people's approval, because you always wanted people to agree with the win that you have. And you were discussing with Hope in the car that at times people won't see it for how you see it. You'll tell someone, but I've managed to do this. But how much money did you make? It was a big name. But to me, I'm like, I did this. I was able to do 3-hour session. I enjoyed it myself. I was not paid what I had quoted. But and earlier video I said these are the years where we built.
Yes.
And I think wins really help in that journey. But to answer your question, why don't I celebrate my wins? Because one, I usually want people to understand why it's my win. And when they don't understand, it stops feeling like it's a win. It starts being like, maybe wanaona ni kama I'm being complacent.
Yes.
I'm putting a win when there is no win. Wanaona
hata una celebrate nini hapo?
Hapo ni kitu ya kucelebrate.
You know, and also too, why I struggle to celebrate the wins is simply because for me, I can be quite proud, so I prefer not to say it. Ndo isikai ni kama, because I'm also loud, so it ndio tu bado umejua like ingekuwa mimi nimenua gari
tumejua kwa depot
hapo from Mombasa. My new baby has arrived.
Unaambia watu tutengeneze ni
njia Kingori apite.
Unazo limbo za moyo tunaye ndio mnaemba hivyo. So I think at times to just give myself the balance of I need to remain or to have grounding.
Yes.
I'll not talk about it. I'll not. And it's a good and a bad thing, because on one hand, it makes me apply more pressure on myself, because then it feels like there's still more to be done. But on the other hand, at least I'm not all up in your face about it.
Interesting. Do you struggle to celebrate your wins?
Do I struggle to celebrate wins? I don't think I struggle to celebrate wins. I just struggle to recognize wins. Because for things that I recognize, man, this is huge. Hey!
Hapo nayo
I will shut up about it. Like I remember when I came back from the camp and I was telling you guys about the experience. I was like, oh, gosh, I was just shouting about it, you know? But for some things that I don't recognize as wins, in my head, I'm just probably thinking, there's no big deal about it. Yeah,
it's part of the process.
It's part of the process. Let's just move along. But the things that I recognize as wins, I am very loud about celebrating them.
Yes.
But I think I've also seen this phenomenon for so many times, and it's probably something in psychology. We should ask your sister next time, Kingori. It's where you've been working so hard to achieve something for so long that by the time you get to it, you're already so numbed from seeing it as something big and whatever. You're already so tired because of the process of getting there. It's like, okay, now that's out of the way. That's out of the way. Let's move on to the next thing. There's that. But then again, I also tend to look at it again from another angle, which is we're supposed to rejoice. Always. And when we rejoice, who are we giving praise to? We're giving praise to the Lord. When we complain, who are we giving praise to? Who are we crediting?
Actually.
Therefore, the devil will constantly ever want to diminish your wins and the things that you should be thankful for, and constantly shift your focus to the things that you're supposed to be complaining about, so that you cease to praise the Lord and you give him most of the attention. So that I would think. Guys,
upasta kidogo.
Hey, uaskofu, bishop,
apostle,
askofu, tutakuwa mama assembly. Mama assembly.
The verse that says, in all things give thanks and make your prayers known to God. And I think God knew why he was saying in all things give thanks. Because I like what you're saying. At times, you know, we look at it as if ni mambo jambo ya squeeze. Need to, we are such a soft society, we need to celebrate small wins. But God is saying, no. I need you to be able to look back and give thanks to me. To see that I gave you creativity and you put it into test and it came out bearing fruit. So give thanks for it.
I was even going to say you guys give a parting shot, but I don't think it's necessary anymore. I don't think that's necessary. Hey! Ulikuwa tu unangoja tu unleash tu.
Tuseme sabbatical ni kitu mzuri.
You come back, you know.
Inakupatia rejuvenation.
Hey! Actually, I think, Kingori, we need to plan when me and you
even as we start.
We need a few episodes of we come back charged, refreshed. And I think that was such an awesome conversation to have. Think about it in your own life, to you, our viewers. Take stock of your life. See the progress that you have made, no matter how big, no matter how small. If you are struggling with alcohol and you are 2 days sober, appreciate yourself. Whatever it is that you have achieved, make sure you count your wins. It's glory unto God. It's not celebrating to puff yourself up. It's glory unto God. And just like Hope and the rest of us have put it in this episode, just be careful to give thanks to God. It's very important. And you can share with us in the comments maybe a small win that you have the same way. We are oversharing. Sometimes we feel like we're just
everyone is caught up with our lives.
And then they're like, oh guy, okay, sawa bas. Hata tuambie kitu, we know you. We see what you're celebrating. We come, we comment, we celebrate with you. We'd love to engage with you. So thank you so much for tuning into the Vineyard podcast. Till next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.